Hey, so I'm quickly learning things about, I don't know, sort of the culture on YouTube, as it were. I get one question a lot. Why do you have so many wheelchairs? That's the question. Or, you're hoarding wheelchairs. Or, how dare you keep all those wheelchairs that other people could be using? So, I figured I would make a short video explaining why I have so many wheelchairs so that I can link people to it when I see the comment. So, as some of you know, if you've seen the channel for 2 or 3 seconds, there's a lot of wheelchairs in this garage. And there's even more in here. The number one reason I have a bunch of different chairs is so that I can show people how to repair stuff. I've been working on a series of videos over the years, basically showing how to repair certain things, how to fix stuff, how to diagnose problems, things like that. As time goes on, I'm making more and more of those videos. But the thing is, out of all the chairs that I have a pretty good selection of all the brands and models and things that exist, with the exception of a few brand new chairs. But I have plans to get a few more. Like the newer Invacare stuff, I haven't really messed around with that much, like the Lynx electronics and whatnot. I'm actually working on getting one of those chairs for educational purposes. And the second part to that, I would ask, how many pairs of shoes does your wife or your girlfriend or someone that you know have? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have, you know, work boots, regular shoes, dress-up shoes, just sneakers, things like that. Well, wheelchairs aren't really that much different. They each have their own purpose. Now, for example, this one that I'm sitting in, this is a Permobil F3. This is the one I'm daily driving right now. It doesn't fit me 100% perfectly. I mean, it's better than not having one, but it's basically my daily, so that's obvious. Now, we've got things like the steampunk chair here. This one has great big tires on it, and it's sort of an older, junkier chair, and it's got a lot of scrapes and scratches on it, as you can see here, and it's not in the best of shape. This thing is essentially like what work boots would be. For example, 2 nights ago when it was raining like crazy and the gutters on the house backed up and the water started backing into electrical fixtures outside, I had to go outside and unclog the gutters. That involved running around in the grass and in the bark dust, things like that. If I had done that with this F3, I would have immediately gotten stuck and have to like call for help or something. So this thing works really well. It's got the giant tires on it. It's kind of an older, junky chair, so I don't really care if something happens. It's been reliable. I can abuse it quite a bit running around in the rain, and still works pretty good. Which, by the way, if you're a YouTube channel member or Patreon, that entire video, I filmed the entire thing out in the rain. That's one of the member-only videos. So, links down below to join as a YouTube channel member or Patreon. I prefer YouTube membership, but either side is fine. Patreon is just, they're kind of weird. Then we have the Bounder here. This is another semi-daily chair. I can't use it in the house because it's rear-wheel drive. And this house was built in the 60s. It doesn't have doorways that are very wide. So this thing lives out here in the garage, and whenever I'm going to go on extended trips and I don't want to drive, go 35, 40 miles, whatever, I hop in this thing and I can run around town all day. No problem. Big lithium battery and whatnot. Now, I could go around and point out every single chair and explain why I have it, but the long and the short of it is, each chair has its own purpose. And a lot of the chairs back here in this parts area, these are what I use for testing, education. Like, for example, someone sent me a message a few weeks ago and they were like, hey, I've got this Quantum Q6 Edge 1 and I'm having an issue with the shock absorber on the front. The bolt keeps falling out. What kind of bolt does it use? So I just grabbed my phone, come out here with the camera, got one right here, and I was able to uninstall this bolt, this one right down here at the bottom, take a picture of it, make some measurements of it, and send it to him. And he was able to go to the hardware store and get the parts that he needs to fix that. So there's a lot of various reasons to have all these chairs, and you know, I was trying to figure out how to explain this video. There's always the, oh, why is everyone calling me a wheelchair hoarder type of thing. I don't think that comes across very well. But yeah, they all have their purpose. Ones that I don't use, I get rid of. I've gotten rid of three power chairs in the last month because they were parts that I didn't need. So it's not like I run around and find every single wheelchair that I can and, you know, try to keep it as long as possible. Everything has its own purpose. I make videos with these chairs. I test things. I'm working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I mean, some of the things we're working on, obviously, I mentioned this kit for converting a power chair into an off-road chair. Working on some Raspberry Pi or Pi 2 CAN bus interface boards for remote control chairs, and also making inexpensive programmers, things like that. We've got this one Invacare chair here that has a head array on it. This one, I was able to help someone out with some programming. This one uses this device here. This is sort of similar to a Permobil Omni, or an RNet Omni, that works with specialized controls. And I would have absolutely no idea how to respond to them if I didn't have this chair and wasn't playing around with it. So a lot of stuff's given to me. That one was given to me by someone that I know. I've got another one back here that was given to me with alternative controls on it from a local viewer. I've got my very first power chair that I ever had. I'm actually getting rid of that. That's this frame right here. So that thing is not needed anymore, and there's not a reason to keep it. So I ripped most of the parts off of it that are reusable. Now, I do try to keep at least one of every major brand or style. I've got another Invacare power base. You can see it hiding right there. And I think that's the one I'm going to hang on to. I'm probably going to strip most of the seating components off of it. I only need one power base because there are some mounts and things like that. And as it turns out, Invacare is still using that power base. So it's handy to hang on to in case I need to come out and take measurements or figure out what hardware sizes are, things like that. But I didn't need two of them, so like I said, that one's going away. I know they're expensive and not everybody has the means or space to store all these chairs, but I do. And it helps out a lot of other people. It helps myself out because, you know, I've got a different chair for different purposes. Like I said, the other night when those gutters were going nuts, there's no way I could have done what I did with this F3 that I'm sitting in. I would have instantly gotten hopelessly stuck. So yeah, brief explanation. There's reasons for all this stuff. And, you know, it would be nice if people had the ability to have 4 or 5 different chairs each, but a lot of times it's not practical. I mean, how many people do you know that have one vehicle? Lots. How many people do you know that don't have a vehicle at all? Well, that doesn't really apply to the situation. But then think of how many people you know that have 2 or 3 vehicles, or a work truck and a minivan to run around with the kids, a commuter car, things like that. So just keep these things in mind. The reasons all these things around, I guess we could say first and foremost, is so that I have stuff to film. Just saying.